can do that on their own. Do you understand?
Yeah.
The work of a teacher, my brother, is just to give the students the foundation, then they'll build the house of their own selection or their own chosen. In other ways, again, the work of a teacher is just to teach the students about how to catch a fish, so that in the absence of the teacher, the students must be able to catch the fish on themselves, because if they can rely to the teacher, in the absence of the teacher, they'll be affected by poverty, hunger, starvation, and diseases. The race is not always won by the fastest one, but by the most persistent one. You can ride the horse to the river, but you can't force it to drink the water. But the horse, it will allow you to accompany you right there to the river. But drinking the water, it will be another different story. It will kick you. But for now, we recited the poem of love here, my friend. Actually, love, my friend, conquers all. Love is easy to start like a car and have to finish like an accident. Love does not know any color. Love does not have age limit. Love does not have a boundary. And then you have two types of love, unconditional and conditional. In other words, infatuation love and love at first sight. When you speak about infatuation love, you speak about material love, my friend. Love which is based on something, especially money. When that something disappears, even that love disappears. When you speak about love at first sight, my friend, you speak about natural love. They just love you according to the way God has been designed you or constructed you. So love, my friend, is a pain and pleasure which no doctor can explain them. They tickles the heart and affect the brain system, and is a dangerous game which can lead a human being to commit suicide. And love them all, but trust no one. If love become good for you, be good for love. But if love become bad, rough for you, be rough for love. So we go 50-50. It is perfectly and natural for us as a human being to have sexual feelings. And our sexuality is a wonderful part of our manhood or womanhood. A beautiful girl, my friend, is a subtraction of money, addition of troubles, multiplication of enemies, division of friendship, and misunderstanding between relatives. Gone are those days, in the good old days, girls used to cook like their mothers, but today they drink and dress exactly like their fathers, which is true, my friend. We want to be free and have equal rights. Girls are like the taxis. If you missed one here, you catch another one around the corner. The more they got curves, the more they become dangerous and enjoyable.
True.
Love is blind, my friend, but marriage is an eye-opener. Love, it seems as if it's a drug or medicine which you all want to have or which you all want to be. AIDS, my friend, is an abbreviation which stands for acquired immunity deficiency syndrome. It is like an HIV. It's also an abbreviation, my friend, which stands for women immune virus. So I'm AIDS, the son of HIV. I'm going to take you one by one to go and decorate my luxurious house known as the grave, because you do not listen. You can ask my uncle Condom. He knows me very well. He can explain everything to you step by step. That is the people like myself, those who used to read big books, those which used to open them by fortune. When it comes to this single words, politics, we cut it in the middle. In other words, we take it from singular to plural. So poly stands for people and thick stands for parasites. Therefore, politics fit itself with the blood of the people. And so myself, I don't want to take part or to engage, even to participate in the so-called politics. But I'm aware that politics is so important, my sister, is so vital. We can't live without a politics. It's an adult static game. If you don't go to vote, we'll go and vote on behalf of you. And when it comes to decision making, we'll also make decision on behalf of you. In other words, it means that the so they came sailing from east to west carrying hedges and diseases. We were given them hospitals intended them apparent as slave in our country as a continent. But now comes a pregnant woman or an expecting woman. A woman carried a home carried a child carried the freedom, liberty, or uhuru. I can eat and write, but I know nothing. I know the late Nelson Mandela and the present Jesus Christ. The two men had been arrested here on earth and put in two separated jails. And Nelson Mandela had been arrested right in South Africa and put in Robben Island for 27 years. When he came back from jail, he provided people with freedom, liberty, or uhuru. Jesus Christ had also been arrested here on earth at a place known as Israel, at a province known as Jericho, at a jail known as Somlandela for 3 days. When he came back from jail, he healed a blind person. So I don't know what's wrong with the two men, because they had been arrested for no valid or apparent reasons. Travel M, our mother's land, Mangopempe Puseve, but now this Travel M changed into Travel MX. Mangopempe Puseve also Matanzima. I was on top of Limpopo Mountain or Drakensberg Mountain looking for South African troops or soldiers, wandering there without knowing what to do. To wander is to make a jaywalk. In other words, you can just say you are strolling. In another ways, again, we can just say you are meditating. To meditate, madam, is just to stay in a quiet place. You forget about your car and your girlfriend. You stay in a quiet place so that your mind must be strengthened in order to qualify to deal about an everyday's problems or daily problems. Can I go on with proverbs and idioms? Or satisfied? The heaviness of the sun and the hardness of the stone both are much better when one compared them with the travel or the stupidity which a stupid person can cause. Two wrongs do not make right, and to forget wrong is the best revenge, and those who judge others wrongfully condemn themselves. The race is not always won by the fastest one, but by the most persistent one. Now I just want to praise two men right there in America. The first one is Peter Stuyvesant. The second one is Henry Ford. Peter Stuyvesant is the man who had invented or created the Peter Stuyvesant cigarette. Henry Ford is the man who had invented the work of a teacher is just to teach the students about how to read and write with full understanding, which means the rest they will do that on their own. The work of a teacher, my sister, is just to give the students a foundation, and then which means they will build the house of their own selection or their own choosing. In other words, again, my sister and my brother, the work of a teacher is just to teach the students about how to catch a fish, so that at the absence of the teacher, the students must be able to catch the fish on themselves. Because if they can rely to the teacher, at the absence of the teacher, they will be affected by poverty, hunger, starvation, and diseases. My sister, and stupid people, and they group them together and discuss. Stupidity is the very same thing which applies to the wise people. They group them together and discuss wisdom. Wisdom, my sister, in the hands of stupid people tend to be poison, but wisdom in the hands of the wise people tend to be medicine. A poem more love, religion, politics, my sister. Before I can go on with this political poem, first of all, I just want to define or to explain